I know many of you have heard some of the recent stories that have came out about a lot of people dying of heart attacks, and many of these people are under 40. Decades ago, that was unheard of, but today it's definitely more common than uncommon. And I really think it has a lot to do with the American diet. It is just not a good diet at all. So this came out in Men's Health September 7th, 2019. Why more men under 40 are having heart attacks. So 8 years ago, when Tyrone Morris was about to close the retail store he managed in Milwaukee, he came to the end of an aisle and found a 9mm pistol pointed at his right temple. "You know what time it is," the assailant said. "Time to give me all the money in this store or I'll kill you." Morris handed over all the money. Of course, he of course wanted to live. And he said the danger didn't stop there. His heart was pounding. He couldn't breathe. He had pain all throughout his chest. Though he was a former college basketball player and pro hopeful, his weight had crept up from 190 to 320. Wow, yeah, that will do it. Since he'd been in his 20s, and he'd been ignoring some other issues for months, like shortness of breath, chest pressure, unexplained weight gain, trouble getting down the court during pickup basketball games. 3 days after the stick up, he finally called a clinic and discovered he had full blown heart disease. Wow. At 33, he is one of many guys who never thought in a million years that they'd have a heart attack in their 30s. It used to be incredibly rare. Yeah, he's right about that. It was to see anyone under age 40 come in with a heart attack. Some of these people are now in their 20s and early 30s, says Ron Blankstein, MD. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? I know because of the drugs that's being heavily used out here, the opioids, the heroin, a lot of these people in their 20s are getting heart valve replacement. That is something you shouldn't even see until you're damn near in your 60s. But these 20-year-olds are now getting heart valve replacement because it's so much drug abuse going on. Okay, a preventive cardiologist at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. Okay, based on what we're seeing, we're moving in the wrong direction. What's happening in guys under 40? Sorry, we should have led with good news. If you're a middle age or older guy, the chances of you having a heart attack are as low as they've been in decades. Thanks, Lipitor. Even in much older people, 65 plus crowd, there has been nearly 40% drop in heart attack hospitalizations in the past 20 years. But according to a study presented at the American College of Cardiology meeting last spring, people who've yet to hit the big 40 are bucking that trend, experiencing bigger heart attack rates than ever. Wow. The number of victims in their 20s and 30s have been rising over the past 2 decades, and scientists have even seen atherosclerosis, and arterial damage and blockages that cause serious heart events. Wow, in the arteries of men in their teens and 20s, in their teens? Damn. What's driving the scary stats? Experts have four theories. Wow. We're getting heavier earlier and stay that way. The percentage of obese kids and adolescents in the United States has tripled since the 1970s. And the weight is hard to drop as an adult for many reasons, including hanging on to a teen fast food habit. Yeah. A CDC survey found that guys aged 20 to 39 are 80% more likely to eat fast food than men 60 and older, which means they're getting more calories without many nutrients in them. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. A generational slowdown in physical activity, especially due to more time on screens and behind the wheel, also keeps weight on and hardens arteries. Those extra pounds are tough on your heart, and not just because they make your whole body work harder. Fat around the middle may actually release chemicals that led to inflammation, which can cause buildup of your artery to break off, wedge into arteries further downstream, and impair blood flow to your heart. Younger guys are smoking and vaping more. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about vaping and people actually having all types of lung problems because of vaping. Sure, overall, smoking rates have fallen, especially among the over 65 crowd who have finally gotten around to kicking the habit. But among 25 to 44-year-olds, there are still a whole lot of smokers, twice as many in the older demographic, and they have cardiovascular health to show for it. It takes only one cigarette a day to boost a man's risk of coronary artery disease by nearly 50%, according to a recent BMJ study. And people who think they can avoid that risk by vaping and juuling are fooling themselves. E-cig users push their heart disease risk 40% higher. Wow. Than that of non-users. Stroke risk jumps 71%. Stress hit earlier. While every generation swears it's living in the most stressful times ever, an American Psychological Association survey found that 22 to 39-year-olds to be the most stressed out group of all. Stress may aggravate inflammation in coronary arteries, which can lead to blood clots. Wow. It also has a way of provoking high blood pressure and bad health habits, including comfort eating, excessive drinking, and abandoned workouts. It's a global issue. A study of 50 countries saw that people who reported permanent stress at work or home had more than twice the risk of a heart attack. Wow. Eh. All right. So I am not surprised about that. I do believe people are more stressed out today. I definitely do believe that. There's a tendency to ignore obvious heart attack risk and symptoms. Yes. The heart attack symptoms that alarm a 70-year-old don't stir someone who's 30, even if they include classic like persistent nausea and serious sweating, or the beach ball in the chest feeling, because he's sure a heart attack isn't happening to him. Yes, I do believe that too. I think when somebody is younger, they just assume that, it might be something else, but not a heart attack, not at their age. Even doctors can be in age related denial. According to Dr. Blankstein, they may be less likely to prescribe cholesterol lowering statins or clot preventing aspirin therapy to younger men. If your doctor isn't paying attention, you should be. If your risk factors and labs show you're a candidate for heart trouble, make sure to talk about what changes you might need. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. So it just goes over most of the things that we already know. They're talking about some of the factors that can raise a heart attack, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, weight, excess diabetes, recreational drug use, smoking, physical inactivity, high levels of stress, heavy alcohol use, unhealthy diet. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, this is really not surprising when you look at the American diet. I think fast food has caused many people to just eat bad in this country in general. Like I said, I'm one thing I am happy about. I notice a lot of um, people in the black community are now turning to more of a plant-based diet and getting away from so much of the fast food. I know in recent weeks we've seen the chicken craze, but there really are a lot of people that are trying to turn around their diets now, and realizing the American diet is just not good at all. It is just too much salt, too much grease, too much sugar. It's just too fattening and very bad on the body, especially when you start aging. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.